Been very prominent, as has PricedOut in recent months. You're a regular on the money. What did you think of the Queen's speech? Anything in it that reassured you and your colleagues?
Well, we've been pushing for this renters reform bill for a long time, along with a number of other campaign organisations like Shelter. We've really wanted to see the private rented sector be brought up to snuff and actually see private landlords make sure that the houses they're letting out are safe and livable. So we're really happy to see this, and we're delighted to see the end of no-fault evictions. I think that will make tenures much more secure and make those stuck or choosing to live in private rented accommodation feel much safer in their homes. I don't think that the Queen's speech goes nearly far enough on planning reform or building more social or private houses. And I was very sad to see the government rowing back on their 300,000 homes target. So I don't think that this will do anything to fix the housing shortage, but maybe it'll make those living in private rented accommodation make their lives better for now.
John Myers, Freddie makes a good point, doesn't he? I haven't heard ministers talk about that 300,000 new homes being built each year target for quite a while. It seems to be kicked into the long grass. Presumably, that's precisely the opposite of what the Yimbys want.
Well, as you know, Liam, we want more high-quality housing to get better places with the support of local communities. And I think it's important to bear in mind the government's probably feeling a little bit bruised after the white paper came out 2 years ago, and there was quite a strong backlash to that. So what I think should be welcomed is that Michael Gove is looking at positive and constructive ways to get more homes built with the support of local communities. Now, obviously, the whole range of things that need to be done on the housing market, but letting communities, as is being suggested, go through trials of these street votes to decide to allow more housing on their street, whether it's extensions, whether it's granny flats, or whether it's something more ambitious, could add a significant number of homes. Nobody can know if it's going to work until we try it, but it seems that it's definitely worth trying, and there's a broad cross-party coalition that's come behind giving residents more power to say yes where they see the benefits for them and their community.
Victoria, turning to you, John Myers just talked about that housing white paper. He's hinting at, and we'll get into the details of it later in the conversation, a really strong backlash from a lot of MPs, particularly Tory MPs. They don't want more housing in their constituency. A lot of their constituencies don't want it. Meanwhile, house prices, of course, given that fixed supply, pretty fixed, given increased demand to both rent and buy, prices are going up.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about inflation a lot, and clearly if you look at house prices, that's one of the starkest gauges of prices going up. Some of the latest data from Halifax points to average house prices coming in at nearly £290,000 now, which is a rise of almost £50,000 over the last 2 years. Clearly there's astonishing figures. Clearly there's a huge imbalance between demand and supply, and the inflation that we're seeing in terms of building materials and wages, all of that doesn't make that
price
balance.
Of wood, the price of copper for plumbing, the price of labour for tradespeople to, brickies, chippies, all the rest of it.
Yeah, all makes it so much more difficult. And, recently we've had the stamp duty holiday, we've had very, very cheap money, and all of that has helped to propel demand.
Those big house builders, though, they're still making huge profits. The listed companies, they still have massive margins.
Yeah, we saw the likes of Taylor Wimpey and others see really, really good financial results lately. It hasn't been reflected in their share prices, but it's because of this housing boom. But there are questions about when this housing boom might end, because there could be a recession on the horizon. Interest rates are going up, so it could be starting to peak, but more because of subdued demand ahead rather than supply going up.